Hi. I'm trying to be a functioning, at the very basic level, functioning person today. But, I already took a nap after breakfast type of thing. But I just wanted to make a video because I've missed doing that. And I wanted to just vent. So feel free to speed this video up, skip it, whatever. But it's about used car prices. And of course, this is on my mind after needing to get another car after ours was totaled. And we just did this like 14 months ago. So it still feels like it's salt in the wound that is still fresh. And cars are not a luxury. I mean, there's luxury cars. I'm not talking the type of car. I'm talking the act of needing to have a car. Because not everybody lives in good public transportation areas or in areas where they can just walk. And even carpooling isn't a thing really, because people, at least our area, they don't all work in the same areas. There's no networking like that in workplaces. And where my husband works, where he teaches, nobody lives where we live. Everybody's scattered. So to say, hey, we'll swap carpooling or whatever, but carpooling still means you need a car. So that's not even a solution that I hear a lot of financial gurus say of like carpool, keyword car. You need a car to participate in carpooling. But people need a car unless you're in like a big city area, like in New York or something. And I'm not putting it on the level of health insurance, but it is a necessity for a lot. And these prices are catastrophic for a used vehicle. And so much goes into buying a car in terms of cost. It's not just the price, because then you have dealership fees, transfer fees, registration fees, depending on your situation. Luckily, we go to a dealership that doesn't have dealership fees. This is why we go back to them for the third time now. And their car prices match others, like other dealerships, without the dealership fees. But those dealership fees can put that used car into a whole new bracket after taxes, registration, license plate, all that type of stuff. So your car can go up another $5,000 potentially. But when your used car price is starting at like $30,000, what? And I know people will say buy privately, buy from somebody, somebody who's advertising on Craigslist or, Bookface or something. In my area, you're buying a clunker. You're buying a money pit. And even my mechanic, who I've been going to almost 20 years, said this is not the area to buy from somebody privately. Like, I would buy a used car from my mechanic because he often rebuilds and sells, and I would trust his. But just somebody I don't know, never. And I grew up, my parents, they bought 2 cars used at a dealership in their time. Otherwise, they would buy off of the Penny Saver, ads in the Penny Saver. And in a year or two, it would suck them dry of money, and we would need another car. It was constant clunkers. And that you can't get ahead. There's no I know, like Dave Ramsey says, get a Dave Ramsey car, a little old lady car, the beater car, so that reliable, again, not in my area, you're not going to get that, so that then you can save up to buy or potentially finance a nice car. In my area, you'll never get ahead to do that if you buy privately and locally. because you're going to sink all that money into repairing the clunker before eventually you have to get rid of that clunker. And I asked my mom, like, how much did you pay when you would go to the dealership? Because over time they bought 2 minivans from a dealership. And she said it was between $5,000 and $7,000 in the 90s. And when I bought my first car, because I took over payments for my mom's minivan when she could no longer drive. And then that car was transferred into my name. And literally the next day after it was paid off, everything went on it. The timing was unreal. I was not meant to keep that van. But when I got my first car from a dealership, I didn't know anything about buying cars. I just knew I liked Dodge Calibers. Don't get a Dodge Caliber, don't get a Dodge. I didn't know my mechanic enough to say, hey, look at this car first. It had a ton of problems, and I got it from a reputable dealer. It wasn't like immediate problems. It wouldn't have been like, they didn't sell a clunker. They just sold a car that was on its last legs of things. My grandpa came in, I co-signed to him because I had no credit. My income was working at a used bookstore in college, and it was $7,000. And this is in 2012, and I was buying a 2008. There is no way now I could get a car in our price range that's under 10 years old. It's just not possible. So for me to experience that then, that's a one and done thing. I will never have that again. But after dealership fees and taxes and everything, it was almost 10 grand. And I didn't anticipate that. I just thought it said 7,000 and I leave. I didn't know. And that's still how it is. The sticker price, if you pay it, is just the beginning. But now, used car prices are not 7,000 for a 4-year-old car. That's not what it is. I still can't wrap my head around these prices. And I know it's going to vary depending upon the type of car and the desirability of the car. Because we like Highlanders, Toyota Highlanders. And the newer ones, and by newer, anything less than 10 years old, can be anywhere from $30,000 to $45,000 used. I don't understand how that could be a used price, but that's because they're desirable and they are astronomical new. But even so, a 10-year-old car could still be in the 20,000s. I don't understand how a used car with 100-something thousand miles can be $20-something thousand. How is anybody supposed to? And I know there are people out there who do, and they finance everything, but you never see on here on TikTok where, they're in the dealership and they're asking, like, what's your car payment to the people who work there? And some of these people are going like $800. How? I mean, people are paying $800 for their health insurance for one person. $800 is eating up half of somebody's rent, maybe. I mean, I don't understand. When we were needing to buy, not this current car, but the previous one that just was in the accident, our mechanic was like, the prices that you are used to, and that they were even used to seeing for a used car, if it ever comes down in price, it will be another decade. But most likely it won't come down. And this is the life of a used car price, because people are, quote, willing to pay for it. Nobody's willingly paying for this. Nobody's going, gosh darn it, I really like this price. There's no choice. It's not a willing thing. There is no choice. Because if I don't have a car, I can't get to my job, I can't get to school, I can't take myself or my family to the doctor. I can't without the car. So if I have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars, then that's what I have to do in order to live my daily life. I am not wanting a new car. I don't want a 2026 whatever. I will never want a new car. I don't think that's smart financially, my opinion. I will always have a used car. Even if I were to win lotto, I will want a used car always. Financially, I think that makes the most sense. But I think everybody is deserving of safe transportation that can be obtainable financially. And right now, it's not. And I remember when dealerships had like a used car lot that was full of used cars. Now, they have maybe less than 20 because everybody's hanging on to their jalopies until the end of time because nobody can afford a vehicle. And I know there's so many people, a lot of financial people who say take the bus. Like I said, I don't live in an area that's public transportation friendly. For example, I had a friend when we were in college. She didn't have a license. And she took the public bus. She lived very far from the campus because at that time there was only 2 campus choices for the junior college, the community college. And she spent 3.5 hours on the bus before getting to her first class. And 3.5 hours on the bus after her last class getting home. So, I mean, she knocked out all of her homework, studied, began writing papers. But she spent a total of 7 hours a day, because she took classes 4 or 5 days a week, on the bus. Because it was the only way to get to her classes at the campus with all of the connections and blah, blah, blah. And that could have been times she worked, slept, God forbid. There's no way my husband could take public transportation. There's no, I don't think there would be a route to take. I'm rambling, I know. But this used car price, I don't know. But when I see $30,000 for a 2017 something, it's nearly 10 years old, and it's $30,000. I don't understand. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I had to get this off my chest. For a car buying is stressful. It was stressful before these prices. But now,